Welcome to Haes Technologies Technical Support videos. This is part 2 of the configuration software overview for the Esprit range of addressable panels. The next tab we'll be looking at is the panel tab. Starting over the left hand side, the first option is number of relay cards. From here you can choose 1 or 2 or none of the relay cards fitted. These are the extendable 8-way relay cards. The default is none. Below that is the sounder resound on new zone option. The other option, if unticked, is sounder resound on new device. Below that is the prepend zone names. You do not require this if you've already programmed your zone names in. The next option is set number of loops if you need to change the number of loops. The options are none, 1, 2, 3 or 4. These can be changed at any time. Below this is the access level 2, 3 and 4 code change. To change the code, click on the set button, type in your new code into the empty box and click the save option. Below this we have the LCD brightness slider, the LCD contrast slider and the buzzer volume settings. Below the buzzer volume settings are the day start times and the night start times. These are the settings to swap between the sensitivity modes of certain devices, normally a dual-tech device that consists of a smoke detector and heat detector, or a device where you can adjust the sensitivities. Generally, you set the day start time at maybe around 8 AM and the night start time at 8 PM. And then between these times, you may have a standard heat detector, and when the nighttime starts, that heat detector will change to a smoke detector to give you a more sensitive cover. Next we have battery monitoring, battery high impedance monitoring, and battery charge during alarm monitoring. By default this option is off to save battery capacity. We then have earth fault monitoring and UPS mode. Earth fault monitoring should be left on. Generally we need to know about earth faults on addressable equipment. An earth fault on more than one loop will cause problems. UPS mode is for marine applications, but if you set this to on, it isolates these other functions above and allows the system to run from voltages around 22 volts up to about 30 volts like you would get in a ship supply. At the bottom we have the daylight saving mode start times and end times, and here we set either the first, second, third or fourth Sunday, Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday of a certain month to start the daylight saving mode, and again the same options there to exit the daylight saving modes. As seen here, you can see the options that you can choose from, and right at the bottom there you get the option to set the daylight saving mode adjustment as automatic or manual. Over at the top right hand side of the screen you get to set the company information. Here you can type in a company name, the system name or address, and the address of the site itself. Below that we have the option to load in a company logo of your choice. This will have to be in a JPEG format and also within the pixel range accepted by our software. You can reset this back to the Haes logo by clicking this button, and you also get the option to use the default logo, yes or no, either a blank screen or some sort of logo on the front of the system. At the bottom of the right hand side we have the dependency and delay mode settings. Dependency modes supported are Type A, which is non-displayed, Type B, which is displayed, Type C, which is a double knock type of dependency, and a straightforward delay mode, which is the last option. If you've chosen Type A, you get to choose the confirmation time. This is the amount of time the area is allowed to be in alarm before the sounders go off, and this is anything from 1 minute down to 10 minutes. You also get the options for Type B, setting the confirmation time, and also the inhibit time. This is unique to the Type B confirmation, where it also then scans an area that's been reset and gives it a second opportunity to go into alarm. If it goes into alarm before the inhibit time, then the saddles go straight off. If it goes into a second alarm after the inhibit time, it will then allow it to have another confirmation time run. You also then have the straightforward investigation delay. This is where any device sets off the investigation delay timer on the front of the panel, and that can be set for anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes. The next tab is the network tab. This tab is broken into 3 sections. We have the connected panels, network options, and network profiles. On the connected panel option, we get to choose and name the panels actually on the network. So the panel grayed out is the panel we're working on. Then we have the options then to let the system know what other panels and what other repeaters exist. In this example, I've called this panel the main building. I've told it there is a panel on address number 2, which is the sports hall. There's also panel number 3, which is the admin, and also one repeater fitted, which is I've called rear exit. Next is the network options. Each address is set here, so each panel will need to be set for the network options. The first address is address number 1. That's the panel I'm working on at the moment. Then we have some general settings for this panel. So we've got local disablements only, yes or no. That means, do I accept disablements set on my panel by people who use this panel, or do I accept disablements from other panels on the network? By default, that's not acceptable. We then have display global disablements. Do I display other panels that are in disable? Generally, yes. So that's normally left as default. That means my panel will show disablements across other panels on the network. Display local zones only. That means don't display zones from other panels on the network. Show the information from them, but don't light up the LEDs for their zones. And the next option is fault tolerant network, yes or no. If this is ticked, it's looking for a loop of cable around the network and back to the main panel again. The next options are signals that I'm going to send from this panel, or this address that I've set, from this panel across the network. And so I'm going to send this to other panels, and the signals I'm going to send out by default are send delays, send alarms, send faults, send disablements, send test functions, send group activations, class change and pulse signals, evacuate commands, resound commands, silence commands, reset commands, and mute commands. So this means my panel will send all of these options across the network. If I don't want to do, I can reduce some of these options here and then choose which options it does send and which options it doesn't. The next option is the complete reverse. This is signals that I'm going to allow from the network onto my panel that will have an effect on my panel. It can be done from a group selection, which is along the top here, which is just select all panels. And from that, so you can say all panels, I allow delays from all panels. I allow alarms from all panels. I allow faults from all panels, disablements from all panels, tests, group activations, buzzer on alarm, buzzer on fault, class change signals, evacuate commands, resound commands, silence alarms commands, reset commands, and mute commands from other panels. This line means all panels. If I want to be more refined, I can untick these options and then set them individually for each panel and each repeater, so I can choose which panels I allow resets from, which panels I allow mutes from individually. But this line here just speeds the whole process up. I can do something similar for the fire relays, fault relays, sounder circuit 1 on the main PSU, and then sounder circuit 2, so I can have some unique sounds coming from other systems. The next tab is the transfer tab. Before transferring, I need to be connected to the fire alarm panel, so I need my USB A to B lead plugged in. I then hit the connect button. The software will then look for active ports and then try and talk to the fire alarm panel. If it can connect, a little green light will come up here just above the connect there to let you know you're connected. If it doesn't connect, hit the refresh button and the panel will then call up an additional or other comms ports to use, again, try reconnecting, and hopefully within 1 or 2 pushes, you'll get a connection to your panel as it cycles through the different ports. Normally it takes only 1 or 2 tries. Once connected, these options here highlight up in green and red, and they are options such as read from panel, in other words, suck the information out of the panel, write to the panel, so send your information into the panel, and download the event log if you want to have a look at the event log on your laptop. To speed things up, you can reduce the amount of information being uploaded or downloaded by unticking certain boxes here. When you do click read from panel or write to panel, the progress bar will creep up, and when it gets to the end, the process is finished. The last tab is the Mimic tab. When connected to your fire alarm panel, let's just assume you are connected. If you hit the Mimic tab, it will bring up a mimic of the display on your fire alarm, showing you what the display is showing. You can then use the functions and controls on the software Mimic to control the fire alarm for reviewing event logs and having a look at active faults and things. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please visit our website at www.haes-tech.com.